We are looking at the overview page right now, which is a jumping off point to a lot of our most popular features that we'll cover as we continue down the left-hand side. So right now, this is a great place just to get some high-level stats and probably the numbers that you're most familiar with when it comes to analytics, things like visits, page views, bounce rates, and so on. For those of you that are coming over from Google Analytics, one of the differences you'll probably notice right away is we don't have a metric for sessions. That is our visits. So visits and sessions are the same thing. A visit is a series of page views, and that is one of the first differences that we'll talk about. Other differences include that we don't do any data sampling. So when we started tracking with you on your site back in April of 2019, all of that data has been recorded, unsampled, unfiltered, and it's there for you to do with what you like. So it's there to create temporary segments. You can use filters. You can permanently exclude IPs if you would like to, but all of that is in your hands. And for that reason, we can do retroactive filtering and samples. So if you wanted to see a slice of your data back to April of 2019, that's all available for you to use. Whereas I know sometimes in Google, when you create things like goals or segments, they're only available moving forward, which prevents us from seeing a lot of that really valuable trend data that can be used to make decisions. So the basic ways to slice this data up, I like to start off here. You can do that with groups, time period, and filters. And the groups are very similar to what you've seen in the content suite. They are collections of pages based on a title match or a URL match. So if you wanted to see what the library's pages are looking like from a stats standpoint, you can build a group for that. You can say that I would like to see how these pages are performing and what's happening in the last 30 days or any other time period that you'd like to pick. And then we can get even more granular with filters. So let's say we were really interested in seeing the most popular pages in the last 30 days for the library portion of the site. We apply all three of those. We open up the content section, and then we can see what the most popular pages that show up in search engine results are for that time period. So kind of the way that I approach this is, what's the question I'm trying to answer? How do I layer these in order to get specific enough to get to that answer? And that's where a lot of people start.
I wanted to touch on the filter feature that you mentioned, Tony. So that's something that our team at MCCR does oversee. So I guess to everyone else on the call, if there is a filter that you're looking for, let us know, and that's something that we can create for you. We know that a key one asked is how many are external IP addresses, so someone that's not on campus. So stuff like that, if you're finding it's missing, just let us know and we can create that for you.
Some of the things to point out before we move on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's a section called Live Analytics, and this is going to be data that's a little bit more current than the rest of the platform within the last 30 to 5 minutes. And this can be used to get some insight into decisions that you've made recently. One of them that I like to point out a lot is when you start doing things like publishing a new landing page or running an email campaign, you definitely, well, not definitely, but usually don't want to wait until the next day to see if that actually went out and if people are seeing it and working with it. And this is going to give you that ability to see more real time, what is the impact of that effort that I just made. So if you put that UTM link in a tweet and it sends traffic to your pages, it's going to show up here. And you can even filter it down to just campaigns if you're looking at a specific type of behavior.